Chapter 16. How Siegfried was slain. Gunther and Hagen, the passing bold knights, faithlessly let cry a-hunting in the woods, that with sharp spears they would hunt boars and bears and bison. What might be braver? With them rode Siegfried in lordly guise. Many kinds of victual did they take along. At a cool spring he later lost his life. The witch Brunhild, King Gunther's wife, had counselled. The bold knight then went to where he found Kriemhild. His costly hunting garbs and those of his fellowship were already bound upon the sumpters, for they would cross the Rhine. Never could Kriemhild have been more sorrowful. He kissed his love upon her mouth. God let me see thee, lady, still in health, and grant that thine eyes may see me too. Thou shalt have pastime with thy loving kinsman. I may not stay at home. Then she thought of the tale she had told to Hagen, though she durst not say a whit. The noble queen began to rue that she was ever born. Lord Siegfried's wife wept out a measure. She spake to night, Let be your hunting. I had an evil dream last night, how two wild boar did chase you cross the hearth. Then flowers grew red. I have in truth great cause to weep so sore. I be much adread of sundry plans, and whether we have not misserved some who might bear us hostile hate. Tarry here, dear my lord, that I counsel be my troth. He spake, Dear love, I'll come back in few short days. I wot not here of people who bear me aught of hate. Each and all thy kinsmen be my friends, nor have I deserved it other of the knights. No, no, Sir Siegfried, in truth I fear thy fall. I had last night an evil dream, how two mountains fell upon thee. I saw thee never more. It doth cut me to the heart, that thou wilt part from me. In his arms he clasped his courteous wife, and kissed her tenderly. Then in short space he took his leave, and parted hence. Alas, she never saw him, in health, again. Then they rode from thence in deep wood for pastime's sake. Many bold knights did follow Gunther and his men, but Gernot and Gisle stayed at home. Many laden sumpters were sent before them cross the Rhine, in which bare for the hunting fellowship bread and wine, meat and fish, and great store of other things, which so mighty a king might rightly have. They bade the proud huntsmen and bold halt before green wood over again the course again. Upon a prossing broad glade, where they should hunt, the king was told that Siegfried too was come. The hunting fellowship now took their stand on every side. Then the bold knight, the sturdy Siegfried, asked, Ye heroes bold and brave, who shall lead us to the game within the wood? Let us part, spake Hagen, ere we begin the chase. Thereby my lords and I may know who be the best hunter on this woodland journey. Let us divide the folk and hounds, and let each turn whatsoever he list. He who doth hunt the best shall have our thanks. Short time the huntsman bidded by another after that. Then spake Lord Siegfried, I need no dog save one brack, that hath been trained that he can tell the track of beasts through pine and wood. Quoth Kriemhild's husband, he'll find the game. Then an old huntsman took a good sleuth hound, and in a short space brought the lord to where many beasts were found. Whatso rose from its lair the comrades hunted as good hunters still are wont to do. Whatever the brack started, bold Siegfried, the hero of Netherland, slew with his hand. His horse did run so hard that none escaped him. In the chase he gained the prize above them all. Doughty now he was in all things, the beast which he slew with his hands was first. Mighty boar, with which he found full soon a monstrous lion. When the brack started this from its lair, he shot it with his bow, in which he had placed a full sharp arrow. After the shot the lion ran the space of but 3 bounds. The hunting fellowship gave Siegfried thanks. Thereafter he speedily slew bison and elk, 4 strong oxen, and savage shelk. His horse bare him so swiftly that naught escaped him, nor could hart or wind or hind avoid him. Then the sleuth-hound found mighty boar. When he began to flee, at once there came the master of the hunt and encountered him upon his path. Wrathfully the boar did run against the valiant hero, but Kriemhild's husband slew him with his sword. Another huntsman might not have done this deed so lightly. When he had felled him, they leashed the sleuth-hound. His rich booty was soon well known to Burgundian men. Then spake his huntsman, Sir Siegfried, if might so be, let us leave a deal of the beasts alive. Ye'll empty both our hill and woods to-day. At this the brave knight and bold Gain smiled. Then the calls of men and baying of hounds were heard on every side, so great the noise that both hill and pine wood echoed with the sound. The huntsmen let loose full and 24 packs, then passing many beasts must needs lose their lives. Each man weened to bring it to pass, that man should give him prize of hunt. That might not be, for the stalwart Siegfried was already standing by fire. The chase was over, and yet not quite. Those who would to the campfire brought with them thither hides of many beasts and game in plenty. Oh, how much the king's men bare then to the kitchen! Then bade the king announce to huntsmen that he would dismount. A horn was blown full loud just once, that all might know that one might find the noble prince in camp. Spake then one of Siegfried's husbandmen, "My lord, I heard by blast of horn that we must now hie us to quarters. I'll now give answer." Thus, by blast of horn, they asked about the hunters. Then spake Sir Siegfried, "Now let us leave the pine wood." His steed bare him smoothly, and with him they hasted hence. With their rout they started up a savage beast, a wild bear it was. Quoth then the knight to those behind, "I'll give our fellowship a little pastime. Let loose the brack, for sooth I spy a bear, which shall journey with us to the camp. Flee he never so fast, he shall not escape us." The brack was loose, the bear sprang hence, Kriemhild's husband would fain o'ertake him. He reached a thicket where none could follow, and the mighty beast weened now to escape from hunter with his life. But proud knight and good leaped from his steed, and as began to chase him, the bear was helpless, and could not flee away. At once the hero caught, and bounded quickly with not a wound, so that it might neither scratch nor bite the men. The doughty knight then tied it to his saddle, and horsed him quickly. Though his overweening mood, the bold warrior and good brought it to the campfire as a pastime. In what lordly wise he rode to quarters. Mickle was his bow-spear, strong and broad. A dainty sword hung downward to his spurs. The lord bare also a fair horn of ruddy gold. Never heard I tale of better hunting weeds. One saw him wear a coat of black and silky cloth, and hat of sable. Rich enow it was. Oh, what costly bands he wore upon his quiver! A panther skin was drawn over it for its sweet fragrance sake. He bare a bow, which any but the hero must needs draw back with windlass, and he would bend it. His vesture was befurred with otter skin, from head to toe. From the bright fur shone out on both sides the bold master of the hunt, many a bar of gold. Balmung he also bare, a good broadsword, that was so sharp it never failed, when 'twas wielded 'gainst a helmet. 'Tis edge was good, in high spirits was the lordly huntsman. Sith I must tell you all the tale, his costly quiver was full of goodly darts, the heads a full hand's breadth on golden shafts. What he pierced therewith must needs die soon. Thus the noble knight rode hence in hunter's garb. Gunther's men espied him, coming, and ran out to meet him, and took his horse in charge. On his saddle he carried a large bear and strong. When he had dismounted, he loosed the bounds from feet and snout. Those of the pack brayed loudly. They spied the bear, the beast would to the woods. The serving folk had fear. Dazed by the din, the bear made for the kitchen. Oh, how he drove the scullions from the fire! Many a kettle was upset, and many a firebrand scattered. Oh, what good victual men found lying in the ashes! Then the lordlings and their liegemen sprang from their scats. The bear grew furious, and the king bade loose the pack that lay unleashed. Had all sped well, they would have a merry day. No longer the doughty men delayed, but ran for bear with bow and pikes. There was such press of dogs that none might shoot, but from the people's shouts the whole hill rang. The bear began to flee before the dogs, and none could follow him but Kriemhild's husband, who caught and slew him with his sword. Then they bore the bear again to fire. Those that saw it averred he was a mighty man. Men bade now the proud hunting fellowship seat them at the tables. Upon fair mead there sat a goodly company. Ho, what rich ferrans they bare there to the noble huntsman! The butlers who should bring the wine delayed, else might never heroes have been better served. Had they not been so falsely minded, then had the knights been free of every blame. Now the Lord Siegfried spake, me wondereth, since men do give us such a great store from kitchen, why the butlers bring us not the wine? Unless men purvey the hunters better, I'll be no more your hunty fellow. I have well deserved that they regard me too." The king addressed him from his seat with guile. "We fain would do you remedy of what we lack. It is Hagen's fault, who is willed to let us die of thirst." Then spake Hagen, "Dear my lord, I weened that the hunt should be in the sparest wood. Therefore sent I thither the wine. Though we may not drink today, how well will I avoid this in the future." At this Lord Siegfried spake, "Small thanks you'll get for that. One should have brought me hither 7 sumpter loads of mead and mulled wine. If that might not be, then men should have placed up benches nearer to the Rhine." Then spake Hagen of Tronig, "Ye noble knights and bold, I wot not by a clear cold spring. Let us go thither, that you wax not wroth." To the danger of many night was this counsel given. The pangs of thirst now plagued the warrior Siegfried, and he bade the tables be borne away the sooner, for he would go to spring and mountain. With false intent the counsel was then given by the knights. They bade the game which Siegfried's hand had slain. He carried home on wains. Whoever saw it gave him great laud. Hagen of Tronig now fully broke his troth to Siegfried. When they would hence to the broaden Lydden, he spake, "It hath oft been told me that none can keep pace with Kriemhild's husband when he be minded for to race. Ho, if he would only let us see it here." Bold Siegfried from Netherland then answered, "Ye can well test that, and ye will run a race with me to spring. When that is done, ye will give the prize to him who winneth." "So let us try it then," quoth Hagen the knight. Spake the sturdy Siegfried, "Then will I lay me down on green sward at your feet." How lief it was to Gunther when he heard these words. Then bold knight spake again, "I'll tell you more. I'll take with me all my trappings, my spear and shield, and my hunting garb." Around him quickly he guarded his quiver and his sword. Then they drew the clothes from off their limbs. Men saw them stand in 2 white shifts. Like 2 wild panthers through clover they ran, but men spied both Siegfried first at spring. In all things he bare away the prize from many man. Quickly he ungirt his sword, and laid aside his quiver, and leaned the stout spear against a linden bow. The lordly stranger stood now by the flowing spring. Passing great was Siegfried's courtesy. He laid down his shield where the spring gushed forth, but the hero drank not, albeit he thirsted sore, until the king had drunk, who gave him evil thanks. Cool, clear, and gold was the spring. Gunther stood down then to the flowing stream, and when he had drunken straightened up again. Bold Siegfried would fain also have done the same, but now he paid for his courtesy. Hagen bare quite away from him both bow and sword, and bound then to where he found the spear. Then he looked for the mark on bold Siegfried's coat. As Lord Siegfried drank above the spring, he pierced him through the cross, so that his heart's blood splurted from the wound, almost on Hagen's clothes. Never more will hero do so foul a deed. Hagen left the spear sticking in his heart, and fled more madly than ever he in the world had run from any man. When Lord Siegfried felt the mighty wound up from the spring, he started in a rage. From twixt his shoulder blades a long spear shaft towered. He weened to find his bow or sword, and then had Hagen been repaid as he deserved. And when the sorely wounded hero found no trace of sword, then he had naught but else his shield. Thus he snatched from the spring, and ran at Hagen. Nor could King Gunther's men escape him, albeit he was wounded unto death. Yet he smote so mightily that plenty of precious stone were shaken and broken from his shield. The shield itself burst quite apart. Fain would the lordly stranger have avenged him. Now was Hagen fallen to the ground at his hands, and from the force of the blow the glade rang loudly. Had he had sword in hand, then had it been Hagen's death, so sore enraged was wounded man. Forsooth he had good cause thereof. His hue grew pale, he could not stand. His strength of body melted quite away, for in bright colours he bore the signs of death. Thereafter he was bewildered by fair dames enow. Kriemhild's husband fell now among the flowers. Fast from his wounds his blood was seen to gush. He began to rail, as indeed he had great cause, at those who planned his treacherous death. The deadly wounded spake, "Forsooth, ye evil cowards, what avail my services now that ye have slain me? This my reward for what I was faithful to you? Alas, ye acted ill against your kinsmen. Those of them who bore in after days will be disgraced. Ye have avenged your wrath too sore upon me. With shame shall ye be parted from all good warriors." The knights all ran to where he lay slain, for now of them it was a hapless day. he was bewailed by those who had aught of loyalty, and thus the brave and lusty knight had well deserved. The king of the Burgundians bemoaned his death. Quoth the deadly wounded, There is no need that he should weep, who hath done the damage. He doth merit mickle blame, it had been better left undone. Then spake fierce Hagen, Forsooth I wot not what you now bewail. All our feal and all our woe have now on end. We shall find scant few who dare withstand us now. Well is me that is to his rule I have but put an end. Ye might lightly boast you, Siegfried then replied, had I wist your murderous bent. I had well guarded my life against you. None doth rue me so sore as Lady Kriemhild, my wife. Now may God have pity that I ever had a son, to whom the reproach will be made in after days, that his kindred have slain a man with murderous intent. If I might, so spake Siegfried, I should rightly make complaint of this. Piteously the deadly wounded spoke again. Noble king, if ye will keep your troth to any in the world, then let my dear love be commended to your grace, and let it avail you that she be your sister. For the sake of your princely courtesy protect her faithfully. My father and my men must wait long time for me. Never was woman sore wounded in a loving friend. The flowers on every side were wet with blood. With death he struggled, but not for long. Sith the sword of death had cut him all too sorely, then the lusty warrior and a brave could speak no more. When the lordlings saw that the knight was dead, they laid him on a shield of ruddy gold, and took counsel how they might conceal that Hagen had done this deed. Enow of them spake, Al hath it gone with us. Ye must all hide it, and Uver, alike the robbers, slew Kriemhild's husband, as he rode alone a-hunting through the pine wood. Then Hagen of Tronig spoke, I'll bring him home. I care not if it be known to her, for she hath saddened Brunhild's heart. Little doth it trouble me, however much she weep.